So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? Well, as you know, I'm always looking for what I feel are some of the finest areas in all of France. But one of the most underrated areas, and I've brought this up before, is Alsace. And now we're going to be talking about Alsace Grand Cru. And if you'd seen my video before, I talked about if you were looking for a wine merchant and you want to see a serious wine merchant, somebody that really knows their stuff, go check out the Alsatian section and ask by name and say, I'd like to see your Alsatian wines. Chances are they're either going to say, well, we have a wonderful selection or we have no selection. And what I'm trying to say is the person that has a wonderful selection means that they're tasters and they're very intricate into wines, because Alsace is quite complicated, quite complex, I should say, as far as its breadth and its depth. So we're going to look on the map here, and we're going to identify Alsace right here as this large strip. And we're going to identify the area of Colmar, which is the largest city there. And just below this is Wetzelheim. And Wetzelheim is what I call a village in Alsace, but that's not part of the story. The part of the story is when you look at these villages, and then within the villages, you have what's called Grand Cru vineyards. And the Grand Cru that we have here is called Steingruber, and the grape is called Gewurztraminer. And Gewurztraminer, to me, to my personal privilege or tasting, Gewurztraminer is considered one of the finest wines in all of Alsace. Maybe not the noble wine like Pinot Gris and Riesling. Those are the two icons. But when you taste Gewurztraminer, you're going to get things like lychee, and you're going to get rose petal, and all these wonderful nuances in the grape that you don't get from Riesling and you don't get from Pinot Gris. So I think it's one of the most underrated grapes as well. But when you get to Grand Cru status, you're talking about the finest Gewurztraminers, and the Steingrubler right here is that perfect example, because it just jumps. When you smell the nose and you get all that lychee, that really beautiful expression. Again, now it's Grand Cru. So that means it's better than what I call level entry Gewurztraminer from Alsace. These are sloped vineyards. You're going to get that east-west sun exposure. You're going to get more ripening of the grape, and you're going to get that mineral expression on these wines. And when you taste the wine, it's that beautiful, that power, that energy that really takes the grape into another level, and he evolves it into sublime wines. But we want to identify villages, because I could do probably 40 different videos identifying different villages and identifying different Grand Crus in Alsace. That's how complex this area actually is. And again, I always say this is the most underrated wines in all of France. We need to pay attention to these wines because they're the most versatile food wines. This is a beautiful wine that can pair as an aperitif. You can have this wine with foie gras. It can hold up to foie gras. Yes, it can hold up to foie gras. And these wines actually hold up to spicier foods too. I wouldn't taste a Gewurztraminer Grand Cru with spicy food, because I want the wine to speak for itself. I don't want anything to overpower the food. So you drink this as an aperitif, but it's a beautiful expression. And one of the finest wines made in all of the world is Alsatian Grand Cru wines, when you can identify a single Grand Cru from a single village. Again, this is a Grape Explorer talking about great French wines.